Alright, so now it's time to work on this fan vent, which is a little bit more complex than most of the things that we've worked on so far, and it's going to require totally new technique. So looking at the reference image here in the background, you can see the way the fan vent is. It's basically this cylinder in the middle with all of these little rings around it, basically 1, 2 rings around it, and then we have these sort of what looks like the spokes on a wheel or on a bicycle wheel. So basically we have this one that goes up and down, left and right, and then these that go diagonal, which comes out to 8 spokes in total. And then we have these little kind of holes in the middle to make this kind of grill fan vent shape. And then over here it just integrates with the model, and we have this circular cut here and then straight edges along the sides and on the top and bottom. So it seems pretty complicated at first glance, and you might be thinking, well, how in the world do I approach that? Well, let me show you how to approach that. First of all, what shape does this resemble to you in your eyes at first glance? Square? A rectangle? A triangle? No, it resembles a cylinder. So let's go up here and get a polygon mesh cylinder and start off with that. So I'll go over here to my camera view. First thing I need to do is rotate this cylinder to be facing 90 degrees this way. Next thing I'm going to do is in my front view over here, or my back view I should say, I'm going to roughly place it where it's supposed to go. Just eyeball it pretty good, and that's pretty good. I'm just going to hit I on the keyboard to switch this to edge mode so it's yellow and you can see it a little bit better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add subdivisions to this. How many subdivisions should you add? Well, there's different numbers of subdivisions you can use. I would stick with an even number. That seems to work the best. I'm going to go with about 32. You can go with 64 if you want to make it look smoother and rounder, but just to work a little bit faster and easier, I'm going to go with 32. This purpose here is to show you the technique, not to get hung up on little details. So in terms of the base subdivisions, I'm going to give this a couple, or 4 I should say, 4 subdivisions here. And the radius, I'm going to go ahead and control this radius a little bit. Basically, let me see what kind of radius I want to go with. I think I'm going to go with about right here. Try to make it match up with that ring that's in the image right there, okay? And if you can do that, you'll be in pretty good shape. So basically 4 subdivisions here for the base. For the U, 32 is pretty good. And we're not going to even worry about the V. It's not going to make a difference. And my radius looks pretty good. So once you have something that's in this general size, we're off to a good start. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my Polygon raycasting mode, hitting U on the keyboard to do that. I'm going to select these polygons. I'm going to grow the selection until I have the front polygons right here. These are the ones I need. I don't need all of this other stuff here. It's junk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my context menu and select Invert Selection, and then hit delete to get rid of that. Just going to move this back a little bit. I'm going to go over here to this panel, and I'm going to select that big polygon that's right there. And I'm going to delete it because we don't need it. We're going to punch a hole through that right now. Okay? I'm going to go back to this guy over here. Alright, so let's go back to the back view over here. I'm going to go to raycasting edge mode. Alright, at this point I want to make sure that I have this well placed according to the image. Okay, so this ring already matches up with the ring in the image, that loop of edges right there. This one, however, does not. So all I'm going to do is take this, use the scale tool, make sure that you have global and COG turned on. I'm going to scale this till I get that loop of edges right in the middle of that sort of ring in the background in the image. Okay. Now, these edges, the border edges that go on the far outside of the object, I'm not going to worry about those at the moment. I'm going to leave those alone. I'm going to take this inner loop right here and scale it up so it matches with the image better. So right there, get that inner ring right there, that cylinder in the image. And we're in pretty good shape. Okay. This is going to work out pretty good. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify the edges that go on the spokes. 32 subdivisions work perfect. The reason is I have these edges here that follow the spokes, the exact spokes of the object that I need. Okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the corner ones here, basically all of these diagonal corner spokes. I'm going to take those, and there's exactly 4 of them. And then we have the spokes that go cut across this to the sides and the top and bottom. And for these, I'm going to select just these 2 inner edges. Okay, so if those edges selected, I'll just look at this quickly over here in this view. Should have these edges selected. Okay. With those edges selected, I'm going to bevel them. When I bevel them, they get beveled pretty evenly. And I'm just going to control my bevel parameter until these are beveled and I get roughly the width that's in the image of those spokes. So something like that. If I look at this here, I end up with something that looks like this, which is pretty good. That's pretty much what I want. Now, with that done right there, I pretty much have the spokes kind of fleshed out, ironed out right there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to select the border edges, those blue edges all the way around. And now I'm going to scale that down. And basically, I'm going to scale it so that the top corners, over here, the top left, top right, and bottom left, match up with the roundness in the image right there. See that? That's kind of the area that I'm following. Once I do that, what I'm going to do is pretty simple. I'm going to use the knife tool, and I'm going to make a cut following the outline here of the hole. Remember how the top, the bottom, and the sides have this kind of square type of finish to it? That's the reason why I'm using the knife tool right there to cut that stuff up. And then I'm going to go ahead and select these extra polygons. I'll show you in a moment the ones that I have selected from the camera view. Select all these top polygons. If I go to my camera view, basically this is what I end up with. I'm going to take those polygons that I just cut and delete them. That's going to give me this squarish type of finish on the top, bottom, and left and right sides, which is exactly what I need. See that? And it fits with the image. That's very close to perfect right there. That looks pretty good. It's not going to get much better than that. Awesome. Okay. So this video has run long enough. I'm going to end it here. In the next one, I'm going to continue to chip away at this fan vent and see if we can finish it off.